Hello, welcome to my tutorial. Today I'm just going to see about C++, a basic C++ program, how to write a basic C++ program to just find whether or not a number is positive or negative. This is just a simple C++ program. We are just going to see this one in this tutorial. So I'm using my text editor, C++ text editor, which is Quincy 2005. You can use Turbo, or you can use Dev, or any other IDEs. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So my IDE, or my C++ text editor that I'm using, is Quincy. So I'm just opening this IDE. So let me just create a new file, C++ source file. C, you can just choose. I wanted to work for what C++ program. Okay, so let me just do the coding part. So including iostream.h, every syntax is very important, so you have to just follow each and every section. Just creating a main function, also an important task in C++ program. So the program is just implemented or run at compile time starting from this main function. So you have to include every code, every program that you want to run inside of this main function, right? So I wanted to just create a variable, for example, an integer variable. Let me just create or declare it int x, right? So I wanted to check this x, whether or not this x value, the value of x is positive or the value of x is negative. That's just my task, right? That I'm just going to implement this program, right? Just simply basic logic, right? If x is greater than 0, that means that x value is just positive, right? You have to just display some message, right? Like the number is positive. Else, well, if this statement is false, you have to just write something else part, right? That means that number is just simply what? Negative. Just display a message what? The number is negative. Just a simple basic logic, right? You have to just here block, close the block statement, closing brace, and finally, because of this, Quincy's most of the time support integer for this main function. So finally, if your function is just an integer function, finally you have to just what? Return it, right? So return 0. That means terminating the program with what? With no error. In that case, you have to just what? Return 0. That means terminating the program without error. That's just the meaning, right? So finally, you have to just close. The main function brass, right? So this is just the simple basic C++ program to find whether or not a given integer number is what? Positive or not. But here, as you see here, we just simply declaring the x variable. So you have to just limit or just assign some value in declaration time. That means during initialization, or you can just accept this x value, the value of this x integer from the user, or you can just simply here you can just simply here assign some value and just, for example, 2, and the program will be just calculate whether or not these two the value of x is positive or not. Or in another method, you can just accept the value of x from the user. Simply just you can just ask the user to just enter some value by using this cout. Say the user what? Please enter a value. You have to tell your user to enter what? Some value. Less than indel. Indel stands for what? Just a new line, right? Then the user will be just enter some value, right? That value is just x simply. So that's just another way to just assign the value of this x variable from the user. And as well as we already see in the previous one, you can just assign or initialize during the declaration time. But this one is just preferable, just accepting the value of x from the user. It's just a very acceptable way. So we just simply finish, right? This is just the only program. Let me just debug it, or just let me just compile it if there is some error in our program. So let me just check it. Before that, you have to save your program. So let me just save my program. Save some here, some for example my code. And you have to just know that the extension of C++ program is .cpp. So don't forget that one, and save it. So now I am just saving. Let me just compile it. The first task here in Quincy is just first you build it, and after that, if there is no error, you can just run it, right? So let me just first build it. As you see here, the build task, or the compilation task, is just completed with successfully. That means without no error. So that let me just run it. As you see here, the program asks me to just enter some value. Please enter a value. I'm just going to enter some integer value. For example, let me just enter 6 and just press enter. And the program says the number is positive, because this 6 is, as you see here in my program, this 6 is greater than 0. So this if condition is just successfully executed, because this if x greater than 0 is true, this statement will be just executed. Otherwise, if the value of x that the user enter from the keyword is just less than this value, which is 0, the program will just execute this side, the else part, right? That's just the control statements do. If some statement, or if some condition is just executed, and if that condition is just become true, the below condition will be just executed. That specific condition will be just executed, and ignoring that else part. But as you see here, let me just enter another value. Please enter a value. Let me just enter some negative value, -5, and press enter. As you see here, -5 is in my condition, in my program. It's not greater than 0, so this else part will be just executed. So the statement is just what simply the number is negative. So you can just simply program by using this simple logic to find whether or not an integer number is a positive integer number, or that integer number is a negative integer number. So that's just a simple way to find out a number is negative or not. So thank you for listening, and as well thank you for watching this tutorial. If you have any question, you can just ask me, or just write a comment below. I'm just going to respond for each and every one of you. If there is no doubt, I think the program is very simple and easy. And if you just wanted to just see another tutorial, some upcoming tutorials, you can just subscribe it, you can just like it. Thank you.